kiss them, hug them. I have to be strong.
A Marion County grandmother is now forced to take care of her grandchildren after deputies say their mother was shot and killed by her neighbor. Right now at 5, we're learning more about the alleged shooter and the story she told investigators.
58-year-old Susan Lawrence had been taken into custody. She's accused of killing Owens, her neighbor, in a dispute over kids playing. Investigators say Lawrence shot Owens through her front door at her home in Ocala. The sheriff told you he's glad his team made this arrest.
Yeah, the sheriff said as the pieces came together, it was very clear this was not a stand-your-ground case, despite what the shooter was claiming. The family is glad the arrest is made because they say it shows the kids they should not be guilty over what happened.
Justice for AJ!
Justice for AJ!
Ajike Owens' family tearfully celebrating the beginning of what they believe to be justice. Deputies arrested Susan Lawrence Tuesday night, 4 days after Lawrence allegedly harassed Owens' kids and killed Owens as she knocked on Lawrence's front door. The arrest was delayed because Lawrence claims she shot in fear of her life, a claim the sheriff calls bogus.
There are things that people say that we're able to throw that little yellow flag on the table, the BS flag, and say, no, that this ain't so wrong.
The sheriff told me the case clarified when all the kids' stories matched and was sealed when surveillance video from a neighboring apartment further backed those stories up. But some in the community believe Lawrence should face murder charges, not manslaughter.
She murdered her. It wasn't manslaughter. It was murder. And that's all I have to say.
Now, that discussion is between my detectives and the state attorney's office.
I am grieving. I am grieving to my core. But I have 4 children who are relying on me. I cannot be weak. I have to be strong.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, did y'all another video. Hope y'all having a very great day. Hope y'all having a very great week also. My day is going absolutely fabulous. Big shout out to all the channel members, all subscribers of the Trey King Show family. And much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have a story out of Florida by way of Ocala. And big shout out to everybody in the great state of Florida. Everybody in the great city of Ocala. Now, before I start this story, I want to send a special kudos out to AJ Owens and also to her family and friends, because it's very sad what happened to this young lady. Now, also, before I start this story, I want to send a special thank you out to my channel members and also to my subscribers for sending me this story. And also, keep these stories coming. Now, before I dig deep into this story, because this story really has me hot, as some of you all can tell. What would you do in this situation? Just say if you had 4 children and your children was next door inside of an empty, field playing, being normal children. What would you do if somebody had the nerve, number one, to yell racial slurs at them and then also go a step further and assault your children? What would you do? I'm sure that you would want to have a conversation with them or call the police, because as we all know, children are off limits. There is no reason for anybody to mess with children. But evidently, Miss Susan Lawrence did not get that damn message. To be 58 years old, that heifer. I'm just going to start it off just like that. Now, all this took place, yes, just Friday evening, I think Friday evening, Friday night, one of them, when AJ Owens' 4 children was inside of a field right next to their home playing, being normal children. And Miss Susan Lawrence decided to yell racial slurs at these children, scared these children so bad that the children took off running back toward the home where their mama was, and one of the children ended up leaving the iPad. So the child, the 9-year-old boy, come back for the iPad, and when he tried to come back for the iPad, that's when Susan Lawrence, decided to assault the child, threw the iPad so hard at the child, she hit him in the back and cracked the screen. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person to have an iPad, and you already know, unless you got some kind of screen protection, an iPad, kind of hard to break, because I know I done dropped mine and it still didn't crack. So imagine how hard a person have to throw an iPad at somebody to crack the damn screen. Now, I don't know why Miss Susan Lawrence did not decide just to go and get a child an iPad back. Why did she not leave these children alone? To be 58 years old, that's what troubling me even more so. And then she had the nerve to go a step further. Now, if you're yelling racial slurs at children and then you have a nerve to want to assault them, what you think the mama gonna do? The mama come over there to have a conversation. Now, they have video backing this up. It's not like AJ Owens came over there trying to kick in the door. It's not like she came over there trying to bust the windows. She did not do none of that. She was standing at the door with her 9-year-old son. And then that's when Susan Lawrence decided, with her coward butt, decided to shoot through the door, ultimately killing AJ Owens right in front of her child. Now imagine that. Imagine you being there with your child and you trying to get to the bottom of this because you don't know what the hell is going on, but you don't know what your children is telling you. And you know your children ain't going to lie to you. So imagine if you at somebody's house and the only thing you trying to do is have a conversation. But I wish we could turn back the hands of time and AJ Owens would have just called the cops. Now, what's even more troubling is the fact not only Susan Lawrence decided to shoot through the door, killing AJ Owens, but then she had the nerve to tell the police, guess what? Yes, they all said that she was in fear for her life. How in the hell are you in fear for your life when you are the one yelling racial slurs at children? And who in the hell picks on children? And then you go a step further. Instead of quitting while you ahead, you go a step further to assault the child when the child come back for the iPad, a 9-year-old boy. And then you go a step further and ultimately kill the mom. You get what I'm saying? So if this took place Friday, why in the hell did it take so many days for Susan Lawrence, old butt, to get arrested? But it's a good thing she was arrested. And it's sad that she's only been charged with manslaughter. She ain't even been charged with assault because she clearly assaulted that child. Now, this is what I want to know right here. I know Florida has a stand your ground law. You know, like Texas have a castle doctrine. But people misinterpret what stand your ground means. They misinterpret what castle doctrine means. And also they misinterpret what self-defense means. There's no way you can sit up here and say that you're in fear for your life when you are the one being the antagonist, when you are being the aggressor. I always tell people that. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you're going to be right, be right. But there's no way in hell that you can be right in this predicament. I'm talking about Susan Lawrence, that is. Because number one, you already started yelling at children, talking about get off your land, get off your land. How in the hell is that your land, number one? Because I'm sure if that was Susan Lawrence's land that was beside her, the land that we are looking at right now, I'm sure she would have a fence up around this land. I'm sure she would have no trespassing signs around the land. And also, she could have told the mom, look, this is my property, and provide the necessary paperwork. And probably the mama, AJ Owens, you know, she probably wouldn't even ask for no kind of documentation showing that's Susan Lawrence's land. Or Susan Lawrence could have just called the police and said these children are trespassing. So clearly, this was not this woman's land. This woman wanted blood. She wanted smoke. But guess what? When the smoke was about to come, that's when she was ready to choke. And then she seen, you know, things may go left, and she already knows she messed up. Now, I don't know the intentions of AJ Owens when she came over there. Was she going to put the paws on Susan Lawrence, or was she just going to have a conversation with her? But one thing I wish AJ Owens would have done is just call the police, because you could at least got the woman on assault. But to go a step further and gun a mom or four down in front of her child when you are the one clearly wrong, that goes to show you how some people really feel about you. And also, people need to understand this right here. Look, when you sit up here claiming self-defense, you cannot sit up here and be the antagonist. You cannot be the one being aggressive. You feel me? That's not self-defense. And for those people who don't know what stand your ground means, this is what stand your ground means. It means this right here. The statute permits someone who feels like they are in danger or great bodily harm in or in imminent commission of a forcible felony to defend themselves. So how in the hell is you feel like you're in danger when you're standing behind a door in your home with the door closed, with a screen door right there in front of the door? And guess what? AJ Owens was not trying to open the door, because the video would have showed that. The video shows AJ Owens outside of Susan Lawrence's door, knocking on the door, telling the woman to open the door so they can have a conversation. And we don't even know if she was really saying that, but you don't see the mouth moving. So clearly, this woman was not trying to break in her home. And some people might say, well, she shouldn't have went over there. Ask yourself, that's why I asked you all in the beginning of the video, what would you have done in this situation? Just say if somebody is yelling racial slurs at your child. Just say if they go a step further to assault your child. What would you do? A lot of people would go pick up a weapon. A lot of people would have called the police. Very few would try to talk it out. And in these days, you really can't talk to people no more, because they go for bad. They go for blood. So I'm going to tell the people like this. If you're dealing with any type of people like this, because I'm sure we all got these crazy kind of neighbors, the best thing to do is put them people on their ass. You get what I'm saying? Because they can sit up here and say that you threaten them, and clearly the law is very slow when it comes to black people trying to protect them. Because, like I said, how in the hell do you kill somebody Friday and then you just got arrested just a couple damn days ago? Really, just yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. It took you 4 or 5 days to get arrested when you weren't even arrested for assaulting a child. But even the sheriff called her statement BS, as you all hear right now.
Claim the sheriff calls bogus.
There are things that people say that we're able to throw that little yellow flag on the table, the BS flag, and say no.
So my question is this: why wasn't she arrested for at least assault? And also, I am glad this apartment complex that they say beside has these cameras up, because guess what? If it wasn't for them damn cameras being up, it wouldn't be no damn arrest. That's sad, isn't it? But this is what the police had to say right here. This is what the sheriff said. He says this. He says she couldn't see through the door. So if you can't see through the door, that means you can't see what? That means you can't see what you are supposedly being afraid of, even though you know it's somebody's mama outside your door because of something you said and did to their child. But he goes on to say this. He says she couldn't see through the door. She couldn't see the individual. So her comments that she was in fear of her life raises the hair on the back of our neck. Woods said. Woods having to be the sheriff. Then he goes on to say this. The cameras were the final straw. And thank God for those cameras. But just imagine how them children feel. They probably feeling most likely that it's their fault that their mom is dead. It's not their fault. You're dealing with an old racist ass woman. You get what I'm saying? A Karen. Clearly, point blank. But my thing is this right here, when you're dealing with these type of people, you must, think everything through. Not saying that AJ didn't think everything through, because I'm sure if she knew that Susan Lawrence was going to kill her, she wouldn't have walked over there, and especially she wouldn't have walked over there with her child. So she did not know this was coming. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, family, you must understand this. We are living in a day and an age where people are quick to pull a weapon and then will try to make you out to be the bad guy. So my thing is this right here. And this is the reason why I make these videos and talk throughout these videos like this, is to make sure that you are well protected. Make sure you have done everything possible to keep yourself from being hurt and also having to hurt somebody else. Because guess what? You don't want to lose your life. And I'm sure you don't want to take somebody else's life unless they deserve it, unless you have to take their life. You get what I'm saying? Because it will still put you in a catch-22, because then you'll be trying to beat the charge, you'll be in jail or whatever. So I'm never going to sit up here and tell somebody to resort to violence first. The first thing to do is try to talk it out, reason it out. And if you can't do that, get the police involved. And then if you have to go a step further, if the police can't solve the problem, then do what you got to do. So you all just remember that. Make sure you cover every necessary step, because these people will sit up here and try to make you out to be the aggressor when clearly they are the aggressor. But just imagine you standing outside somebody's door and they done called your children all kind of N-words and then had the nerve to assault your child. And then you just probably want to have a conversation with them. Or you're going to tell them you're going to call the cops on them, which you don't even have to tell them that you just called the cops. So let's keep that in mind today. Make sure that you exhaust every necessary option that it is to keep yourself from being wound up in these predicaments, because these people will sit up here and try to change the script on you, just like Susan Lawrence tried to do. And if it wasn't for those cameras, she would have got away with murder, literally. But for her to be charged with manslaughter, when clearly this sounds like premeditated murder, because number one, how can you go from being the aggressor, yelling racial slurs at children, assault a child, and she wasn't even arrested for assault even Friday? But anyway, as more information come out about this story, I will keep you all updated. And also, I left a link to the GoFundMe for those who want to donate. And, my prayers go out to, number one, to her family and to her children. And it's very sad, because I know those children are living with guilt of what happened to their mom. They probably feeling like, most likely, they are the reason this happened. And it's not their fault. Children are going to be children. Children are going to go play. But how a woman sit up here and tell children to get off her land when clearly we already know if that was her land, number one, it would be a fence around it. It would be a no trespassing sign up, just like I told y'all earlier in the video. And also, she could have called the police or just notified the mom, look, this is my land. Keep them off my land. So there's a right and a wrong way to do everything in life. But anytime you sit up here and go for bad, guess what? Bad is always going to find you. But it's a good thing the police was able to locate the cameras and also the video showing that AJ Owens did not do anything wrong. She wasn't trying to break in a woman's home. She wasn't trying to kick the door in or anything like that. Susan Lawrence just basically shot AJ Owens in cold blood right in front of her child, and then had the nerve to want to tell the police that she was in fear for her life. And then it took the police days to even arrest her dumb ass. But anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, not my true intent, please let me know in the comment section, or you can email me and we can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Also, share the video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed, and I will see y'all soon on the next Trey King Show. And guess what? I'm out.